So this week's video is going to be a little bit different than usual because I'm just going to be talking about what's going on with me. I'm in a really stressful era right now, and it's just a lot. I had really wanted to do an educational video this week. It was suggested by one of my friends and I'd been looking forward to it. I'd been taking notes on it. And ultimately, I have been mentally not there, and B, have a cold. I mean, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm pretty sick right now and I just got a little dolled up so I'd look presentable. Anyway, I wasn't actually going to make a video this week, but I had mentioned at the end of last week's video that I'm not all that well in the head, and I guess there's so much more going on than just what I had said in that video. So much like I think my last update about a manic episode, there's just stuff to discuss. So let's jump right into it. I don't know if I necessarily need a disclaimer on this video because it's not like I'm going out there spewing information about a mental health topic. I'm literally just talking about myself. And so I will skip that this week, but I will give out a trigger warning, and I suppose that would just be depression and, mood episodes in general and the lows that come with them and, everything to do with that. I'm not suicidal, I'm not self-harming, but I am just feeling really low. Anyway, I have been super stressed lately, and in hindsight, I can see how that has absolutely fed into my mental illness, because I am the kind of person with schizoaffective whose psychosis is fairly manageable, but my bipolar is not. So I still struggle with bipolar, and I don't know, man, it's just been historically really hard to treat, and I have breakthrough symptoms, I have episodes. That doesn't stop just because I'm on medication, and it's not just medication. I have to treat it in so many other ways. If I'm not taking care of myself, physically, emotionally, I'm prone to episodes. If I'm not eating right and also staying up until the wee hours of the morning, I might put myself into a manic episode. Or I might swing the other way and crash into depression. I mean, stress especially is one of the big ones for me, and I think my last 2 episodes were triggered probably by stress. I guess there's a fair amount to be stressed about right now, and I think stress is subjective. I think some people can handle immense amounts of stress and others maybe not so much. I know for me, I used to think that I had a very low threshold for stress, but my therapist, who's an amazing woman, told me that it's not the case that I have a low threshold. It's the case that my threshold was so incredibly high and I took on so much abundant stress that it broke me. And that's how I ended up with CPTSD and BPD. So everything stresses me out, and I seem to somehow seek out stress. I put myself in situations where I don't say no to things I should say no to, and I take on way too much. For instance, right now I sponsor in AA, and I have 5 sponsees. So that's 5 days out of the week, every week, that I am meeting with women for at least an hour, usually more. Some of my sponsees I will meet with for 2, maybe even sometimes 3 hours. So 5 days out of the week, I am putting my emotional energy into helping another person, and I love that. I absolutely love that. But you do get secondhand trauma from the things they reveal about themselves. It's sometimes very stressful just to have someone who's struggling and try to curate the steps to their needs. And there's a lot of mental acrobatics, not in a manipulative, toxic way, just in the way of, okay, so this person has a learning disability and that's not going to work for them, and I need to adjust it, but I don't know learning disabilities. How do I do that? There is also the fact that I'm planning a wedding, and maybe I should have led with that. I think maybe that might be the most stressful thing going on right now, partly because I am doing it all by myself and I don't know how to plan a wedding. I haven't been to very many weddings. I was married illegitimately, and it was so not legal that I had it absolved by the courts. So like there is that. We got our officiant on Craigslist the day before, and he called himself Biker Santa, which is what he looked like. So if you can imagine, it wasn't the most official wedding, and I'm trying to make this one nice. It's just me though, it's just me. My family member, who shall remain anonymous, had offered to help plan the wedding at the beginning when I got engaged. And there has been no evidence that this is ever going to come to fruition. And I had foolishly, naively waited for months for things to start. And when we would talk about the wedding, it would always be ideas, and then no action. I honestly should have seen this coming. And I know there's no shitting yourself, but me, honestly, this is the exception. I knew she was like this. I knew. And honestly, my nickname for this woman is the Queen of Empty Promises, or like Queen of Broken Promises. So that can illustrate for you how well this was going to go. I finally had a conversation with another family member who knows her very well, who said to me, "You're probably going to have to plan this by yourself behind her back and let her think that she helped." I think that's a good enough example of how my family operates and how incredibly toxic they can be, and how I tend to be the one who has to cater to other people's insecurities and emotions. That tends to be my role in the family historically, with like pretty much every member. So yeah, I started planning it, and it's a little bit late into the game because I waited too long, because I thought I'd be getting help for this long. So I've really only just started, and I'm already kind of overwhelmed because I don't know what I'm doing. And I've been following a lot of YouTube videos. I've been starting to like buy things, decorations, etc. I just don't know what I'm doing. Don't get me wrong, I'm having fun, but there's only so much fun that can be had when your stress is rising. And like I said, this isn't just like one thing, there's more. I just feel so stretched thin right now with all the little things, and they really do add up, because I say yes to everything and to everyone. If you need a favor, I'm your girl. Everybody knows that I'm good for that. That's why everybody comes to me with everything. And so I'm really codependent. I'm pretty sure that's obvious. And yes, people probably jump into the comments the second I say that to tell me to stop saying yes and put myself first, etc., etc., etc. In my therapy progress, we're not quite there yet. We're still working at some other rungs getting up to the top of that ladder. So basically, I just have all these things that I'm helping people with, and they're just becoming a lot. There's only so many things I can put into my schedule, so every single day is packed. If it's not packed with the 5 sponsees I work with, it's packed with the daily meetings that I go to for AA, CA, NA, Al-Anon, MA, all the A's. You don't even need to know what they all are. They're pretty much all the same thing: addiction. And then there's the few rare moments that I'm not doing stuff, that now I'm dyeing my friend's hair because she wants it to look like mine. She likes my hair, and now I guess I'm doing that. And also helping my friend recover from surgery, and just kind of like looking after her while she gets back up on her feet, literally, because she had a hip replacement. And I love her, and I'm happy to do that, but at the same time, I'm taking kids trick-or-treating, I'm mending people's clothes because they know I know how to sew, I'm helping people with their homework and writing assignments for school because they know I know how to write. Like, it's just really adding up, and I have no time for self-care. And yes, I know that has to be a priority. And yes, that's another one that I'm working on. I honestly don't really know how to do self-care. I'm just gonna admit it. I don't know how to do that. Like, I absolutely do not know. Bubble baths, they stress me out anyway. Knitting, I stress myself out knitting. Napping, that stresses me out just because I'm not being productive. I mean, everything that I've tried to do to calm the fuck down makes me anxious. And so my priorities are all askew. Self-care being one of them, but also, my work, the work that I put out there. I have an art business, for instance, and it is somewhat labor intensive, and I just don't really have a lot of time to make art, which is what makes me the happiest in the world. And I have been chipping away at projects, but I just don't have the time. And I honestly wouldn't have the time to make this video if I wasn't sick. So there's that. Like I said, I wasn't gonna make a video this week, partly because I'm just so burnt out, and partly because I've just, got all this other stuff and it's starting to creep into my work, and I don't like that. As far as priorities go, my recovery from addiction and mental illness always comes first, because I don't have anything without those two. And yes, I get that it's ironic that for a person who doesn't know how to do self-care, my top priority is my mental health. I know that doesn't make sense to me either, but I'm just not there yet. And I have a lot of progress to do to get there, which is what I'm working on. And I think right below that would be my videos. And this is something that I always make time for, partly because I like having routine and schedule, and having an upload date every week helps me to stay on track, because the rest is a little chaotic right now, and this keeps me steady. I know that right now I am sort of floundering a bit, but I promise you this is always going to be my second most priority, because outside of my videos, I do actual advocacy. I get that the online videos are advocacy too, because I'm spreading awareness and whatnot, but I actually do work outside of this as well. And I don't know if people realize that. I do speaking engagements, and I've actually gotten to be in an NPR podcast. I was featured in the Lost Patients podcast. I've also been a guest and spoken at a research conference for psychosis, so I got to share my perspective and sit in on symposiums and give remarks about that. I have a panel coming up this winter speaking on civil commitment, which is involuntary hospitalization, through the University of Washington. So this is the kind of work that I do that no one really sees, and this is kind of the stuff that I'm most passionate about, which is why I became an advocate in the first place. That being said, my priorities waver, and there's no equal distribution of energy right now, right? If my priorities are normally recovery, Psychotic in Seattle, art, helping people, and self-care, right now it's recovery, Psychotic in Seattle, a little bit of helping others, because that's something that I feel compelled to do. So yeah, it's not healthy right now. It's really not that healthy. So as you can imagine, I'm starting to feel a little low. Yes, that was a really long-winded way of getting to the part where I said that I'm feeling the moody blues. I'm mildly depressed. That's another subjective thing. I wonder what my depression feels like to other people. I don't think it's that bad right now, but it's definitely weighing on me, man. I just, oh boy, I just want to cry at all times. And if I look at something happy, like a picture of a piggy, I want to cry, because the happiness makes me somehow feel sadder. I don't know how that makes sense. I want to cry right now just being vulnerable about it, because I don't like asking for help historically, and I don't like admitting that I'm not doing well and struggling. And if there's any one thing I've learned in recovery, I think one of the first things I learned is that you need to reach out for help, and you need to be honest when you're struggling, because you probably can't handle it by yourself, and it's okay to ask for help. So I don't know that I'm necessarily asking for help, but I am getting it out there. I think if there were any one thing I would ask for right now, it would just be like, maybe have some patience with me. I don't know what the next few weeks are gonna hold. I know my depressive episodes may last a long time or not. So I don't know, like it is sort of getting worse, I will admit. And I can't promise that I will be consistent. And I can't promise that I will follow my upload schedule. I've realized it's actually kind of hard to make a long format video with a full ass topic. And yeah. So yeah, I just don't know right now. I just don't know. I feel worse than I did last week when I made that last video. I'm sure if I learn self-care and I can de-stress, this will all pass faster and easier. I'm sorry for the negativity in this video. This has been a lot of bitching, let's be honest. That's just kind of what I'm going through right now. And I think more than anything, I'm putting this video online to kind of like appease the masses when I stop posting altogether. Not saying that it will get to that point, but just saying that in the event that I might stop putting out videos, this will kind of be like my little, hey, it's all good, I warned you. Like, to be fair, I don't know if that's selfish of me or not, but I just, you know, in the event that that happens, here's your forewarning. Not saying it will. I will try to keep my upload schedule. I will try. I just don't know if I can. That's pretty much it for today. This video has gone on long enough. It's been quite the ramble, and I don't know. I normally don't like advice. I really don't like unsolicited advice, but I'll take advice if anyone has any. What's worked for you with your mental health? How have you gotten through depression? How have you coped with stress? What do you do for self-care? I'm drawing a blank. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I may or may not see you next week. We'll see. Bye.